Hello, Suzanne Kellner-Zinck with Dawning Visions Hypnosis, speaking to you about having a sex addiction. First of all, you need to understand that not everybody who has a high sex drive has a sex addiction. Some people just have a high sex drive. You know it's an addiction if you have a lot of shame and guilt about it, if you're living two lives, maybe you're married with kids and you go out of your way to find other women online, and it's really about the rush of going on the hunt to find the person, but then you have the sexual relations and it's totally empty emotionally, and you're wondering what's wrong with you. These are some general ideas about how you know that you have a sex addiction versus just a high sex drive. Now, the question is, can this be overcome? And I'm going to tell you yes. Conventional mental health people will tell you no. They will tell you that you have to go to 12-step programs, and from what my sex-addicted gentlemen have told me, that's a really good place to go find out where you can have happy ending massages to your heart's content, and where you can find prostitutes and escorts. Not a really good place, and besides, I would never as a hypnotist want you to be told over and over again that you're a sex addict, because you don't need to be. You see, when we get rid of the behaviors and thoughts of the addiction, we no longer have the addiction, and it can be done. I have a special 4-session addictions program that I do on top of all of the letting go of any of the trauma. I found that about 80% of my clients were sexually abused when they were too young to even know what sex was, which is pretty much in line with Patrick Carnes, who's a specialist in sex addiction himself, a researcher for 40 years or so. And he says 81% of all sex addicts have been sexually molested, abused. So there's an interesting that happens when that occurs, because at once you realize as a kid that you're being treated special, but it's also got to be a secret, and there's a lot of really mixed feelings, and you just don't really know what to do with it, and there's shame and guilt, and who the hell can you talk about this having happened to you? It's a problem. Then the person grows up and they find that they just don't know how to have a safe attachment, as we call it in psych. And actually, this usually goes back to your mom or your main caregiver not having eye-to-eye contact. It's really left eye to left eye contact, such as when breastfeeding happens, or feeding you with a bottle or whatever. The ability of the brain doesn't develop the safe attachment. So what I do with my clients is I bring them through a program where they let go of all the traumas and they're able to learn how to love themselves again, because you certainly did not come out of your mom's vagina hating yourself. And then we go through the addictions process, and then we help you to have really healthy emotional boundaries for yourself, along with someone who you can actually get yourself involved with. And I'm happy to say that I've been doing this since 2005, and my guys, the ones who go through the program, got to go through the program. The whole program, not a partial program, it is a whole program, okay? If you go through the whole program, you'll be able to have either a healthier marriage than what you had before with the woman you married originally, or if you don't have a healthy marriage and maybe your spouse is depressed and you're sick of dealing with it, as happens in some cases with some of my clients, and you're ready to move on to somebody else, you're able to have a healthy relationship, get married, and move on with your life. I've had that happen with quite a few of my clients over the years. But mainly the important thing here is to know that you can have a healthy, normal sexual relationship, because that's the goal. It's never about telling you that masturbation is bad or that sex is bad or any of that stuff. That is not within the realms of normal human sexual behavior. We get you to the point where you're able to have normal human sexual behavior and build really great relationships going forward. It doesn't matter if you are heterosexual, homosexual, bisexual, or even transsexual. I've worked with all of them over all these years. Of course, if you have larger problems, including major depression or major anxiety, or there's some issues having to do with the surgeries, if you're a trans person, that will take longer than the 4 to 6 weeks on average that it takes me to help my guys generally to let go of sex addiction. Charge for the service is $10,000, and it's well spent if you want to have a happy, healthy normal sexual relationship with a partner, which most people want to have, especially if you're a person who's either a younger person or someone in their 30s or 40s. So I'll have my information below where you can contact me, and all I ask you to do is to write in the subject line, looking for information on clearing sex addiction or something like that. And if you don't hear from me in 24 hours, send me another email that says second time around, looking for help with sex addiction. Thank you very much for spending your time with me, as always, and be well. Bye-bye all.